Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to turn these into these. So if you're interested to see how I do that, please stay tuned. Hi everyone, so welcome to my little scrap busting tutorial that I'm doing today. I'm using these fabrics. I showed these in the video, but actually on second thoughts I decided that I'm going to go through this with my daughter. She's got her own little machine and I think it's a really good simple little project that she could do and then would really enjoy, and it's an idea if you've got any children that would like to do it yourself. But I will show you how I made these ones with the little footage I've recorded, and then I'll come back at the end of this video. The great thing about this tutorial is that you can make these in any size that you like based on what you've got to hand, so you don't need to go out and buy anything. I'm actually using this squared ruler that I happen to have because I'm going to use this as a template, but you can use any size that you like, and of course you could do it circular, like using a lid like this. It may look a bit big for a face wipe, but I'm going to do a larger seam allowance that will then bring them down. So I am using 2 fat quarters that I happen to have, but this is really a scrap busting exercise. The only reason I'm not using scraps is because I am saving all my scraps for the closet case poof. If any of you have made it, I have heard that it takes an awful lot of stuffing, so I don't really have any scraps to spare, but I do have a lot of fat quarters, so I'm using these. And similarly, all you need is an old towel. Again, I happen to have this terry toweling that I bought because my old towels go to our dog, and once they've been used on the dog, no matter how much washing, I don't think I really want to put them in my face wipes. And you may wonder why I'm using grey, because a lot of people use white. I find that even though you can wash them at high temperature and use stain removers, etc., they do really start to discolour if you use the lighter toweling. So I thought this grey was perfect because it's dark already, so it's not really going to show anything up. So let me show you what I do. So because I can't really draw on my grey, you could draw if you had a lighter towel. I'm going to use my backing, which is this really cute little polka dot cotton, and I'm going to draw my templates onto this, and then I'll use them to go over the toweling. So I'm just going to take my square here and I'm going to pop it onto the fabric like so. And again, if you're using a little circular lid or a tea plate, or if you were using something square, you'd pop it on now. I'm going to draw out my template like so. Now I'm planning on making 8 of these, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out 4 templates and then I'm going to double the fabric up. So I'll do that and then I'll come back and show you what I've done. Okay, so here is my 8 squares all cut out and pressed, and as I say, I'm going to use these as a template because it's a bit hard to draw on mine, but you could draw on yours if you have a paler coloured towel. So I'm just going to choose one of these, oops, pop the others over there, and then I'm going to fold the towel so that we get 2 each time that we cut, and so I'll pop it just up there, and then I'm literally just gonna cut round my template. More scraps for my closet case puff. Okay, and there you can see, so I've now got 2 of those ready, so I'll just go ahead and do 3 more sets like that and I'll come back. here are the 8 pieces that I have done of each side. So this is going to be the obviously pretty backing, and then these are going to make up the towels, the pads, like so. Okay, now what you need to do now is put one together, right sides together. Doesn't really make a huge amount of difference. You could choose which side. I think that's my right side. That looks a bit fluffier. Now, you probably don't really need to pin these because this toweling is a bit sort of grippy, but I'm going to show you what I would do. And don't worry if they're not exactly the right size, as you know, it's not a precise thing. You're only wiping your face with them. So I'm going to clip around these. Just going to put one really on each side. Like I say, they're quite grippy, so you can pin them or clip them like I'm doing, or you don't. If you don't feel you need to, you don't have to. What you do need to do though is to remember to leave a little opening on one side so you can turn them through. So I tend to put a pin, because obviously that stands out from my clips, and I'm going to leave it. That's probably, what is this gap? Here we go, look, I'm on my map. I'm going to leave mine just over 2 inches along that side. There we go. So then you're basically going to sew from the pin all the way around to the other pin, making sure to do a back stitch at the beginning and the end, and then we will come back and do the next step after that. Now again, depending on what size pad you want, you can do whatever sort of seam allowance you want. I'm just going to eyeball it with the edge of my foot, I think. So I'll just do that now. Now that we've sewn all round, leaving that gap for turning at the top there, what you want to do is trim those corners to make them easier to poke out when you come to the other side. So we trim all 4 corners, close as you can to the stitching without going through the stitching, of course. It just really does help to get those corners turned out nicely when you come to turning them. And then, because I gave myself quite a big allowance there, I'm also going to trim round to make that seam allowance smaller there. Okay, so you've got your stitched up piece ready to turn. So we're going to get that turning gap there and just turn through. Shouldn't be too difficult because obviously the toweling's nice and soft. And turn them out. Okay, now then you're going to want to poke those corners out. That's why we trimmed them there, so we can get as good a turn. Of course, if you're doing a circular one, you won't need to worry about the corners anyway. Okay, so you can see obviously it's quite a nice size now actually that we've done that. And all you would do at this point, I'm going to sort of roll those seams out to get it as square as possible. And I'm going to give it a quick press with the iron. And so there we have one very nice, neat looking face pad. And you can barely see the hole as it is, but we've basically just turned it under to meet the fabric there. I'll tell you what, you're going to have to get used to cleaning up your work area in your machine after you make these, but it's worth it. And we're just literally going to do a top stitch all the way round, which will hold that in place and it will close up that hole. And so there you have it, one finished face cloth, nicely top stitched enclosing that hole, ready to use. And it didn't take hardly any time at all. As you can see, obviously I've just used white thread that was already in my machine, but you can use obviously a matching thread, or you can do a decorative stitch around there if you like. But that is basically as simple as that. So that is it. I've made these lovely little face wipes here. I've only done 8 for now, but I'm sure I'll be doing a whole stack more. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please do try it out. I'd be really interested to see what you think and how you got on, and I would love to see your makes, so you can always tag me over at Instagram and then I can see how you got on, and let me know if you think this tutorial was any good. I'd love to do some more scrap busting ideas. I'm thinking scrunchies next, something I could do with at the moment. And that's about it for now, guys. Have a lovely day, whatever you're doing, and I will see you in my next video.